Everybody, hi, it's CJ Miller. I'm in my apartment downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. Across the Red River from downtown is beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. Please come check us out on your vacations. Okay, so I'm here to talk about this table setting, which is nothing new. But uh, I was really excited to find some chargers, and I'm going to tell you about this. Uh, from the moment I moved in this apartment, for a while, I just kept everything really bare. And the reason why is I wanted to think really hard uh, and just be really diligent, and just everything that I put in the apartment that I'm going to be living with for a while, I want to make sure that it's something that that's not going to make me sick to look at it. You know what I mean? Uh, uh, I know anybody out there I know the homemakers out there will understand what I'm talking about, because it's like you're with this stuff for a while, and it's like, huh. Well, so it's a very rustic room. I like it. The wood floor, and then I was able to find the curtains that had basically the backdrop. The pattern is a wood floor paneling with a guitar, and so it's like, wow, I um, I can deal with those. That kind of, it's guitar, and the room is uh, wood wood flooring. So paneling. And then the table works and everything. So I had some people over. I think it was a Thanksgiving, and I think what it was, it was either a Christmas or a Thanksgiving, I forget. But I do recall that we were kind of like sitting tightly around a smaller table, like a table that's maybe like uh, half the size of one of these longer tables, and uh, we were making it work and everything, but it was a little. It's like people really couldn't spread out, and I like people to have a little elbow room or whatever. I'm left-handed, uh, in a world of a lot of right-handed people, and so elbow room is important to me when I sit at a table. If you're all right-handed, you're all flowing in the same direction. Maybe you take it for granted, but if you're a left-handed person sitting next to a right-handed person, it's it's a pain in the ass. Pain. It's a just a you have to. If you don't have enough space, you're going to be rubbing elbows, and also to be like, "Oh my God, don't touch me!" I'm like that too with my food. Okay, hang on one second. I wanted to get this music turned off. So there. Um, okay, so well, I found these chargers, and I've been in this apartment going on just 2.5 years. In the end of September, it'll be 3 years that I've been in this apartment, and that's how long it's taken me to find these chargers. And actually, I've been looking for table chargers for longer than that, even for the other things. So every once in a while, I'll hear somebody tell me, they'll say, "What is a charger?" And a charger is basically a placemat, but it is a plate, a large plate. It's larger than a plate that you have your regular dinner plates on and everything. And what this does is this acts like a crumb catcher. So it can save your tablecloth, and it can save your table from, it's like it's got on the bottom, it's got these little feet, the best of them. And this is, like I said, this is not a very expensive, not very expensive at all, but, you know, uh, there you go. And so the store that I got mine at, I got them today, and the store was Kirkland's. I don't know if I just, like, as I'm moving around, I don't know if I showed you, I'm in my stocking feet. um, and there was a sale, so they weren't even as expensive as the sticker price. So it was very affordable. I was very pleased, and I don't mind this. I initially wanted to go with something uh, more glassy or ceramic or something like that, or stone or something like that, just a real plate. But I don't mind the manufactured wood. The reason being, though, is that a lot of these, but large squares, um, would have worked. But when I was going for something like that, but then it was like, well, I'm not doing Chinaware or anything like that. I don't have like uh, exceptionally fancy things. I mean, I want to make some things nice, but I want them to be comfortable. Just like my furniture, I don't want everything to be so pristine that people are afraid to sit on it or use it or something like that. You know what I mean? So I want everything in the apartment to be comfortable in the guest areas and when people come over, because I treasure when people come over. I'm like, I think it's cool. I'm from an era when we used to go out and visit people, um, instead of like constantly texting back and forth on the internet with them or calling or whatever. So on the webs. Anyway, so um, yeah. Oh, isn't this cool? I think I showed this before. This is a lantern that my dad bought for me for my birthday last month. Kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, it's cool. But let me set this up. I may have already told this part of the story. I don't know, but I'll tell it anyway. I had some white tablecloths, and they looked nice, looked lovely. And the first or second time, really, that I had some people over, some food got on the tablecloths, and then as I was preparing to launder them, I looked at them and I was like, "These tablecloths are like really thin. They were practically brand new, but they weren't worth the effort to clean them." So I didn't keep them because they were like so threadbare, and they weren't. I mean, like they were made that way, and it was like, oh my god, they look like really cheap bed sheets, like maybe the lowest thread count that you could get on a bed sheet. That's what was on this tablecloth, and it's like, this is just not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this. This is, if I don't get the stain out, then it's gonna set, and it's just gonna be. I just threw it out, and then I decided to get busy with the chargers. Now the chargers are placemats. I've got some placemats that I sometimes bring out, but it's like, even then they're like, you know kind of a pain to deal with. So I'm going with chargers, and let me set up how I'll do one table setting and see how it's going to look. All right, so um, I've always got like a hodgepodge of plates around, but some time ago I found these, and these come from the same setting, and they all work. And what I love about it is that they're mass produced, so if something gets broken, I can easily just buy another one, or at least buy another set, and then like I'll have a couple of extra places. Now it did not come with the cups. I've got two cups. I alternate them. I bought uh, uh, two bundles of these cups that are very similar to how these are manufactured, and one's a little bit taller than the other. Uh, and so what I do is I just alternate them, and that works. And this is going to work well with the wood table and everything. I'm going to be satisfied with that. Okay, there's another option, and sometimes, and I have several of these sets, these smoky aluminum settings. So, and then what you would do is like you would have your soup or whatever and everything like that. Then these are kind of like it depends upon the where I'm feeling or what the food looks like or whatever that I prepared. If there's a need to go a little bit old school with it, old worldish or whatever. This I would, goulashes and stuff like that. Would be great for something like this. But basically, yeah. Uh, so nice. Wartime aluminum. And the reason why I say that is they started using these instead of silver, because silver was such a rare commodity during the war. They needed it for bullets. I don't know why this stuff here, I don't know why it would not have made better bullets. But anyway, yeah. and I love that. If I could find as much of that as possible, I need to get some cups, but they're hard to come by, the little goblets or whatever. Um, but yeah, those are going to be the two place settings that I mainly kind of work around with. But I've got enough of these to set up this entire table, so that's kind of cool. But you'd have your soup or your bread or something, and then as each course you can remove. You either could you either could bring this out course by course, starting with your bread plate and your soup bowl or whatever, and then you would leave your bread plate, and then you'd remove the soup bowl and you'd set down the big dinner plate. But what happened, you see how this is when you're eating? You try to get as much of the food. Hopefully, the crumbs would fall on the charger, and it'd be like a saver for your tablecloths or for your table or something like that. And kind of, yeah. That's what a charger is. It's a place marker. It's a place mat. Sometimes it's an identifying charger too. It kind of lets people know. Like in some restaurants, I worked at Delmonico's, Emerald's Delmonico, and that they had the huge chargers that had the D on it for Delmonico, because they were Delmonico long before Emerald got a hold and bought the restaurant. I'm not even sure if he still owns it. It's been that long since I've been down there. I got left in the very end of, or whatever, sometime in 2000. I left New Orleans to go to Miami, and since that time, I've not kept up with Emerald's Delmonico, because that's when I worked there, and I haven't kept up with it. So it was so funny because I went from that environment, that very, to working a diner called the White Lion Cafe. Really, it was a cafe in Homestead, Florida, where it was very casual and laid back. And so I brought all these etiquettes that really didn't quite apply in a cafe setting. We just kind of like started out as a tea and sandwich shop, and they kind of expanded a couple of things, but it's still basically a tea and sandwich shop with a couple of things. But it's a great place down there. If I ever get down there, I'm maybe going in January. I'm taking a cruise September, but then I got to looking at options, and it's like, wow, I'm gonna love it. I know I am. And if the beds are half as comfortable, even though they're not huge, the beds are like two twin beds, and then they'll make either like one large king, or they'll be two twins or whatever. I don't know. They're just basically twins, and they push them together when it's a whatever. But whatever. Anyway, I don't care. I really don't. So what'll happen is that hopefully I want to go back down there in January, but I want to go out of Miami. And if I get down there, then maybe we can kind of take a look at some of the life that I used to live when I was down there also. But that's a little far off. I got some things to look forward to. Like, I have this cruise that I've got nearly paid off already. I want to see the Stevie Nicks concert. There's one in Oklahoma City that my sisters want to go see in Oklahoma City, because one of them is from there. And then, but if that doesn't work out, then we can go down to New Orleans and we can catch her at down there at the Smoothie King Arena or something. I don't know. But anyway, okay. After that, then I want to do the, if I could really just do a cruise. If I like it, then I could maybe do a cruise maybe once or twice a year if I take shorter cruises instead of the big, huge, giant cruises. Because I'm like a person that's like, hey, why don't I just take a 3-week cruise or whatever? And that's not, I mean, whatever. I would get so bored that long doing anything. Uh, so, but believe me, I put a lot of thought. I have come across these sometime in the past, and I thought to myself, no, at the time that I wasn't going to. I was really going to think about what type of place setting and charger. And as a matter of fact, I don't even think I had these tables at the time. Um, fortunately, it's a lighter tone of wood, but then there's various different tones of wood. And either the padding on some of the smaller chairs, those little iron chairs or whatever they are, these things. I don't know what they are, but they're brownish, and so they kind of look earthy and everything like that. So it's going to work out. It's great. It's great. That's cool. Um, I'm excited. Uh, you know, and then of course I need to chill out. I'm excited. My nephew's going to graduate. My great nephew, I should say. He's going to graduate middle school tomorrow. We're all really proud of him. And okay. Love and light. God bless. Peace. Good night.